the off lane. Pretty potent combination. Very hard to deal with, it feels like. So much harass that can be pumped out of that puck. And I mean, Brax early on should really just be unkillable on the Brewmaster.
Pretty much. Like, there's only so much you can expect from a Tiny early on up against this kind of lane. It's just going to be very hard for Matu. No matter what, he will be sustained by Puppey, but it really depends on how far J.Storm will position themselves. With Moose this time on a puck, he's not going to be caught out as often as you'd expect, I think, especially compared to game 1. So we'll see whether or not Secret can get that early wins they had with the Tiny tosses this time around.
Of course, saying hello to the spirit bear of Mu. Gets an entangle straight off the bat on Zai. Bit unfortunate for Zai, but it's alright. The level 1 entangle really doesn't last too long. But it will force Zai out of that Banneroon spot, and there is going to be a bit of a scuttle down at the bot lane, it looks like, where they are going after Moose on the puck. He'll orb away, and it looks like Brax will go ahead and harass the hell out of Puppey on the IO. J.Storm. They got 3 Banneroons, there's only 1 left on the map, and they may be able to just find the 4th as well, as it looks like Secret haven't really gone for it. So Moose gonna go have a look on the puck and should be able to find himself the 4th bounty rune.
Yeah, it's a great start for J.Storm. Not only that, but Fear did find that deep ward in the jungle once more, so that is gonna deny a lot of control from Secret this time around.
We'll see how much work Zai can get done on this Darkseer. Of course, we know how well Zai can play this hero, but up against the Lone Druid, it's not as easy said than done. Of course, Fear going to be roaming around that jungle, keeping eyes on the side of Secret. Mid one going to throw an Impale out his way, but Fear not going to be too concerned about that. He's throwing out that harassment. Mid one, just trying to get this pull off, but it is going to cost him a lot of health. Still though, he'll eventually get there.
That should help out the cause in this lane, of course. Not much Fear can really do, but he's going to stick around and soak some EXP up for himself as well. And Zai's going to be pretty happy with this.
Looks like Zai will actually just go ahead and pull the creep wave all the way over, get himself a secondary creep wave, and then just iron chill them down. This really allows the Darkseers to escalate their farm quite quickly. And of course, the Lone Druid just going to be forced to stand there with no creeps and just sit in the jungle for a bit. Very annoying for Mu. Still though, he'll have another wave coming up now, so it's not too big of a deal. Meanwhile, bot though, it looks like Brax does end up falling relatively low on the Brewmaster. Will salve himself up, he'll be okay, he'll return back into the lane. But it looks like Matumba has been relatively aggressive with Puppey up against that Brewmaster, and in fact, as I say that, looks like Moose does end up finding himself the courier of Matumba Man.
Yeah. Fortunately enough, I believe they did manage to get that buckler out right before, so he's not losing out too much there. Has that added durability for the lane.
Zai falling quite low up in the Dire jungle. He'll be okay though, so he'll salve himself up. He just continues to chase him down with this enchanted creep. He will slow down mid one, but Zai is still around the area. Nice little impale coming out of him. It looks like Fear will be chased down now. Zai not willing to chase underneath the tier 2, of course. Just ensure that mid 1 can get out of there safely. But it's not so safe yet. Fear does find him once again. Mid 1 being forced back towards the Dire side tier 3. And looks like he's just going to go for the deny on himself. Fear will manage to actually pick up the kill though, as it was a bit too slow, or rather too fast on that deny timing. So the first blood will go the way of J.Storm.
Yeah, it's a nice pickup for Fear. Still, they are losing a lot of control in this lane. Fortunately, Mu can tank the creep wave just fine. He's not having too many issues with farm right now.
Denied.
Secret. Still going after Fear. More iron shells to be thrown out. Mu will join in now though. He's had enough of them pulling waves. Go ahead and secure at least that creep. Zai. They make it hard though. Once again, double iron shells out. Just gonna chase Mu down. Looks like they are gonna go for an impale attempt though. No, he'll hold out on it. Looking over to that mid lane though, there could be a bit of trouble here for Nisha. Does have a puck on his right side, but Moose does end up backing off. Not too interested in sticking around as the puck. There wasn't that much kill potential anyway, it seems. Let's go back down to the bot lane to help out Brax on the Brewmaster.
And the lanes definitely are a bit slower than the last game. Besides those pulls up top, mid lane matchup is certainly not as wild as you'd expect, although 9 does cop a couple of raises.
9's been doing very well in terms of last hits, but it's essentially even. Like, they're just trading farm right now. Nobody really going for too much harassment on each other. It's essentially the same for every lane. Like, bot lane, you could argue, is being heavily won by the side of Secret. And as I say that, once again, Moose does end up finding Matumbaman's courier on the puck. So there you have it, the second courier death of Matumbaman's courier. But still, as I was saying, Matumba is finding a hell of a lot of farm in this safe lane.
Definitely is. He's using his kit quite nicely, just dipping in and out with the tree, clearing out those camps when the wave is pushed out a bit too much, which allows him to really escalate. Unfortunately, he's not going to have his boots, so it's going to be harder to get that chase going.
The mid one could be in trouble, though Fear does opt to go after the courier instead. Now, decides just back after mid one on the Nyx Assassin. He'll back out, though, eventually. Meanwhile, Zai falling very, very low on the Darkseer. May just go for denying himself very, very soon. Just wants that Siege creep, but he doesn't really have the damage output. And now Fear trying to find an easy kill, though. TP Zai, I think it's too late, and it certainly is. So Fear will pick up his second kill of the game. Of course, Zai won't mind too much, but the respawn timer is a little bit higher, and of course you don't want to give the kill away to Fear of the Enchantress.
Definitely so. Look, Zai's still finding that farm, but he's really not slowing down the farm from Moose, so this is a really good start for the LD, and we all know what happens when the LD gets pretty darn good farm. It escalates really quickly.
It certainly does. Having a look back down to the bot lane, Brax still not having the greatest of times. He's managed to secure 25 last hits at least, so it's not all bad. He's almost level 6 as well. We'll have the Brewmaster split coming up very, very soon. Who's mid lane does find Nisha's courier now, so this man's just hunting couriers down this game. Doing a darn good job of it as well. It looks like they're ready to try and force in this tier 1 mid tower a bit. Fear, just with that siege creep, we'll be able to do a fair bit of damage. Nisha will be there to clean it up though. Slowly but surely. Looks like once again, both teams just going to be okay to farm for now. You will see Secret starting to move into that mid lane to try and set something up for Nisha, but it's not going to be that easy for mid 1 to close the distance and get the impale off that he needs.
Oh boy, mid 1.
Going after 9, it looks like. 9 going to be under the shrine though. Zai could be in trouble, but he drops the wall down, but gets entangled straight away. Now the LSA comes out. Very unfortunate on that entangle for Zai, but sometimes that just happens.
Definitely. Bit keen for that kill attempt anyway. So they are giving a lot away to J.Storm with these movements so far. I'm sure J.Storm doesn't mind. They've got a good enough start for themselves. 0-3, 3k lead. They've got pretty darn good farm on Mu. And, you know, 9 has had a good time down mid, working towards those travels. The only real issue is that bot lane, as mentioned, Brax not having the freest time, but still kind of keeping up, especially with that Darkseer. So, all things considered, fairly even start here, but a pretty massive farm advantage for J.Storm.
I mean, with the Brewmaster anyway, like, he just really cares more so about XP than gold anyway, right? Like, it's not too big of a deal that Brax isn't farming that well.
Yeah. Like,
I mean, in comparison to Zai, who's actually behind him by 900 gold.
The tower is under attack.
It's like mid lane, a lot of heroes coming in. Smoke is there from J.Storm. Brax will reveal himself now. He does have the split, but he doesn't commit it straight away, and that'll give time for Nisha and Puppy to just walk out of there. But it looks like they're here to just secure that mid tier 1 anyway, and they should be able to find it for free. I don't see Secret fighting into that Brewmaster split.
Definitely not. It's going to be a very early tier 1 going away with J.Storm. This is a much better pace for them than game 1, just securing the map advantage straight off the bat. This will allow them to dip into the jungle much easier and perhaps slow down Matumbaman if he sticks around there too long.
Moonell picking up the Mask of Madness for his Spirit Bear. Matumba. Gonna have some members of J.Storm around him. But he won't mind too much Fear. Just walk away. They want 9 on the lean. It'd be a massive pickup for them. And well, just copying a fair bit of damage. Nisha will go ahead and clean her up. That is a very important pickup for the side of Secret. So that'll actually be the first kill of the game for Secret as well. Certainly going to be happy with that, especially considering Nisha is somewhat behind the Lina in terms of farm.
Definitely.
Oh,
Zai just...
Every time I look at Zai, he's getting entangled by this bear.
It's unfortunate, but the kill potential, it's going to be a bit hard for Mu at this point. Just, he needs to...
I mean, he won't mind though. Like, he's just finding all the farm in the world anyway. Bot lane. Matumba, Puppey, gonna show up. Brax was forcing the T1. Moose is gonna be there on the puck though. He doesn't have level 6 yet, but he does at least offer some form of damage output as they try to go after Matumba, but they miss the LSA. So with that, Secret continue just farming up this bot lane. J.Storm will not be able to take advantage of having 3 heroes down there. In fact, Secret will start pushing in the top T1 as well. Top T1 as well. Zai just doing it by himself. Mu will slowly make his way back into the lane.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, bit of an earthquake. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Best time for it. Oh yeah, it's
I'm guessing
it's a bit long. It was, but it's okay now.
All right.
We can get back to the Dota.
Thank you, John. Dota is definitely more important anyway. My goodness. Bot T1 going down to the side of J.Storm. Mid lane though, being pushed in by Secret. It looks like J.Storm are ready to try and defend this. Moose moving in. He does have the Dream Call this time around. He only found 2 though. Nisha still free to walk around wherever he wants, but here comes Brax. He gets the Brewmaster split off. Now the TP's coming in to try and help out even more as 9. Lagoon Blade straight to Nisha, but he's still alive throughout all this Puppey. Can't keep him alive though. Now they're going to chase for more. It looks like Matumba is going to fall very, very low on the Tiny. It will eventually go down, and they found Puppey on the eye to make matters worse for Secret. There's a courier going down. Puppey was bringing out the Soul Ring for himself, but unfortunately will be down until that courier respawns. J.Storm, 3 very, very confident kills being picked up by them.
Definitely, this is exactly how they should be playing this lineup. They're playing it really well. That aggression early on is really buying them a lot of space for Mu to get his job done, and they're still finding the objectives, still finding big kills. Secret, they've got to slow down the pace just a bit. They need to wait for Zai to be ready to be present in these fights to give them an advantage in the team fights. It's not going to be happening anytime soon. Looks like he is going to be farming up a couple fights before Zai is ready to commit in these fights, so it just means a bit of a slower start for Secret, and they are going to have to play with a 4K deficit this time around.
Secret moving into that top lane. It's like Matumba just going to push out this lane by himself. I say by himself, Puppey is there to help just in case. You look at that, down to that bot lane, another push going on now. Braxton Fear forcing in that tier 2. And so far, no defense from Secret. 9 will come in. There's the first rotation coming out, mid 1. He'll be there in the Vendetta. Still the T2 falling low, but now they have Zai there as well. They have the vac wall available, and they go straight onto that Lina 9. Relocate coming in from Puppey. He brings the tumble with him. Moves the Dream Call straight off the bat. They'll go after Brax because he doesn't have the split available, but they can't quite kill him off yet. Master Madness has been popped, however, Brax surely goes down here. He's still making a run for it, but mid 1 is surrounding as well. They miss the Impale. Moo meanwhile finds Puppey in the back, and Brax somehow alive, but does go down. Still a 1-for-1 trade. Doesn't really go either way. I mean, I say that Secret, they did find a core Brewmaster, so I suppose you'd call it their win. But still, that was a lot of tier 2 tower damage being dealt to the side of Secret.
Definitely. It's the big win for J.Storm is, again, while these fights break out, Mu just gets to free farm on this LD, and he's not been a factor just yet. He is working towards that Desolator on his bear. Once that's up, you're taking a fight across the map, Mu's just going to melt your towers.
It's a problem. Certainly a problem for Secret. And as it stands, they're not really able to keep up with the farm of Mu. I mean, he's just so far ahead of everyone else at 7.5k net worth. So not slowing down anytime soon either. Now Deso should be up in about 10-20 seconds. I wonder if you're J.Storm, do you just smoke up after picking up that Deso and try to make another play?
Honestly, I don't think it's necessary. They don't need Moo to be around for that. They could just make anything happen anytime. As long as Moo's across the map with free space, he could just take the towers. Like that top lane, if they can force everyone out from that lane, tier 1's just gone.
I have a look at Matumba Man's item progression on this Tiny. Looks like he'll be going straight into the Daedalus on the Tiny, so just pure right-click build. It's not going to have it at the worst timing, but it does seem like he's going to need a lot more gold before he gets anywhere close. There's J.Storm now. Move back into that bot lane where the tier 2 is basically already down. They'll just go ahead and clean it up. And they will have time to defend the top tier 2 if they so wish. But they'll need to react quite fast as Matumba Man is hitting like an absolute truck. It looks like instead they'll just go down to the bot lane after that tier 3 tower instead. With that Spirit Bear, with the Desolator, they can take it quite fast.
Definitely. It's not going to be a massive issue to bump that damage out.
Well, there's a fortification being expended already. Secret, meanwhile, still moving up at the top lane, but Matumba and Puppey do manage to back out eventually.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Looks like they'll just hold this Radiant side jungle for now. No. It's one of the things you can do, right? You just throw the Spirit Barrier in, get a bit of chip damage on that tier 2, and just bring it back out over and over again. And Secret just seemingly don't really have the lockdown to hold the Spirit Bear down long enough to take it out anyway.
Not only that, but even if you do commit that lockdown, you're missing out on control for other heroes as well, which is one of the shortfalls of Secret's draft. They don't have the most amount of control for these team fights. Like, you can probably focus on 1 or 2 heroes. That's it. Like, once your Tiny expends the Avalanche and once your Nyx expends the Impale, you really don't have control left.
Tumba, still up there with Puppey up at the top lane, just not finding any reason to back off yet. They haven't really punished for him being this far forward. Brax won't try for it either. He'll just keep farming up. He'll take over that top lane and they will finally back out of there. Tumba goes back towards his own Radiant side jungle. Looks like J.Storm are happy to slow this game down a bit. They do have a 3k net worth advantage. Moo, I say slow down, is moving into that Roshan now, and again with that Desolator, with that Spirit Bear, it's really not that hard to take this Roshan out.
Definitely not. Just gonna melt quite fast. Secret, they need to respond fast if they want to contest this one. Doesn't look like they're aware.
There's no wards around the area. Yeah, free Roshan going to the way of J.Storm. So the first Roshan of the game going their way. They'll give it to 9 on the Lina. And with that, where do you go? It looks like they do pick up the top lane.
Dire's bottom tower is
Why the hell not? There is still a tier 1 tower outstanding. Can always just go ahead and take the outpost as well. Secret is basically imitating the other side of J.Storm, doing the exact same thing. And looks like they'll go for a tier 1 trade.
Yeah, fair enough. You might as well take out these towers just to get a bit more control for yourself. It's going to be a pretty safe push as well. Not going to take too long for either team to melt through those. I have to really point out though, like if you take a look at Matumba Man with his rune handle and the tree, that is just sickening range for a melee hero.
I see nothing wrong with the jump.
Yeah, look at oh.
J.Storm go ahead and take the top tier 2, and now they'll go for a tier 3 tower. Secret, are you ready to defend this? They've got no fortification available. In fact, I say that, never mind, they apparently do. I think it may have just come off cooldown. There has been enough time that Matumba does now have the Daedalus up as well. So his damage output has suddenly skyrocketed, and in fact he is at the top of the net worth board. They can relocate any time, but it looks like he is planning to force in that tier 3 bot tower a bit. And this should force J.Storm back, and that's exactly what they do. Nine trying to find the Yules off. He does get the top off, but there's a relocate from Puppy, still tether. Gonna be there in time, and he will get the relocate quite safely. In fact, it looks like they go mid lane, where they do find themselves a nice little Spirit Bear.
A nice pick off going away of Secret. They do manage to do a good amount of damage in that tier 2 as well. So the split push is still strong for Secret. They've still got that going for themselves. Always got to watch out. They do manage to clear out Puppy for J.Storm, but they're not going to be too upset about that. In fact, Moon, he's caught out.
Forward after everyone. Well, gets the fear off at least, but it may not matter. The raise will connect from Nisha. He does at least force out the BKB usage from Nisha, but still, giving your life away like that, I'm not sure what Moo's plan was.
They might even use more moves. Mid one just scouting around right now.
Found Fear. Forget Fear. Puck will manage to orb his way up. Brax would be a nice pick off, but definitely not easy. He does have the split available. So Secret, once again, they'll bide their time. No need to rush this.
It does feel like we're starting to see the same issues from game 1 pop out for J.Storm. They had a huge advantage. They don't manage to leverage it into any bigger objectives. Like, they're pretty even in map control with Secret, and they've pretty much lost a significant amount of their net worth lead. Now you're starting to see Matumba really come into his own. You're seeing Nisha start to dish that damage out. And as this game goes on, J.Storm, they might run into the same issues they did in the first game. There might not be enough in this LD once that bear dies for them to do any work.
At least he has a clumsy net, I guess. It's kind of nice. Well,
It's something.
Smoke is there from Secret. Where are they headed though? So they will go up north towards the Dire Jungle, where Fear will get spotted out, but they'd rather 9 Melina. In fact, 9 runs into the Avalanche. Still Fear though, surviving throughout all this, and will go ahead and heal himself up. Now goes after Puppy. Brax joins in, but a nice impel will stop that. But now the Dream Coil just holding them all down. They'll get at least the IO. Can they find that massive Tiny? Matumba, he'll throw another Avalanche out, but Moose is on the chase. Now the lean TP in 9, going to be very, very careful about his positioning, but he will continue fighting. It looks like he will go down to Nisha. Still, that was the Aegis. Now Brax will lose his life as well on the Brewmaster. Who are they going for? 9, Clumsy Net will be out there. Mid 1 will go down. 9 continues to be chased down, and Matumba gets the crit he wanted, finds another one, and Big does go down at the end. In fact, Moose, maybe a City Duck. He doesn't orb away. They found Moo on the Lone Druid as well. He's just a sitting duck. It's the classic block coming up from all these creeps. And Matumba, Avalanche will be there. Moo, still a very, very tanky target, but there's a net coming out. Still, he will fear them away. Puppy, unfortunately, had to relocate, but he'll just TP back in. And it looks like this Lone Druid may have gotten away. But Matumba is still chasing him down.
Oh no, oh no.
Gets the fear off again. And that'll be the end of that. He actually manages to walk away from all this.
That's just some really fortunate timing there for J.Storm. He did lose his bear. So you still have that issue where without that bear, Moo's not going to be able to do too much. So that's going to be about a half a minute where he's not really contributing, especially to that defense in their tier 2. If ever Secret does force the issue, looks like they will back off. There was a massive issue in that last fight though. Like, I believe Brax did not manage to get his ult off. He just got stun locked right in the middle. So they didn't have the utility of the Brewmaster there. If they did get the split off, that fight could have ended in a very different way.
Certainly a massive spell to be missing from the team fight, but it just seemed like J.Storm couldn't really get into the team fight properly as Matumba was being very frustrating with that Avalanche spam. Still, continue getting that farm up on Matumba. Looks like he'll be going for an AC, and he'll have it up pretty darn soon as well. He just needs the plate mail. Back over to the Lone Druid Moo. Spirit Bear looking pretty darn good. He has a basher on it now, and he's going for an AC of his own. Still, we saw Matumba Man just kind of melt the bear anyway. It just didn't really seem to matter. especially with that Daedalus crit. If you get lucky enough on this Tiny, you do just melt everything in front of you.
Definitely. It's a really big issue because Matu is just way too big right now. He's got the network lead. He's got the items he needs. He's got a double damage room bottled up in case they need to pop it. Well, and that's just going to melt all these objectives. Yeah.
There's the T2 going down. That's the final outer tower for the side of J.Storm, and suddenly Team Secret are the ones with the map advantage. As there is still one outer T2 tower standing for the side of Secret, and that's the mid lane. Have a quick look at the Dota Plus, and it was pretty even most of the game, but Secret have overtaken quite heavily. 78% Secret's way, and 22% the way of J.Storm. We'll see a smoke pop up now, Secret. They'd love to find Moo on that lone druid, but
tower is under attack.
not the easiest target to find. You're still waiting on mid one to have Vendetta available, and Matumba, he'll just give up on that.
Radiant's top tower
Break his own smoke. We'll move up to the top lane. Moo's already getting prepared to TP away if he needs. He'll spot out Matumba. He'll know it's not a very safe environment to be in. Mid one, still looking for another target. Almost found Brax on the Brewmaster, but not quite. Brax should be able to walk out of there as well. So the game of cat and mouse will continue between these two.
It definitely feels like Secret is benefiting from this delay once more. I mean, sure, J.Storm, they're building up on Moo. It just feels like they rely way too much on that Spirit Bear to really get the job done now. And you're starting to taper off on your Lina, you're tapering off a bit on your Puck. They don't quite have the farm up yet to really face off against the powerhouses on Secret's side. Like Matumba Man's Tiny, as we mentioned, is just really big. Then Nisha's SF is also just getting bigger and bigger. He has his BKB up, he's had it for a while. He has his own Daedalus, he's working towards that Satanic next. So the damage and the items are coming out for Secret as we approach the later part of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. More crit to come. Nisha will save himself up for a Satanic next. Like you said, I mean, once that Spirit Bear goes down in a team fight, it's just hard to see what J.Storm do. Looks like they are going to group up. Roshan has been started by Secret, but that was under vision. So J.Storm, they know this is going on.
Man. Roche just melts.
Now, I'm wondering now, did they know that was going on?
I mean, doesn't look like it. They were kind of around the area, but they didn't try to contest. And it's a pretty decent spot for them to fight in. They've got the Dream Coil up and running, but it looks like they are just going to be playing it safe here.
Playing around with Zion, the Arxir. Meanwhile, mid lane, Matumba finds Moo.
Jeez.
That tier 3 tower, not going to be lasting very long at all at this rate. The impetus from Fear will force Matumba back a bit, but now they'll jump back in. There's the back into the avalanche toss. It's massive. Still Matumba. He eats a cheese. He'll be healthy. It looks like he's ready to keep going. As Brax cannot do anything with that Brewmaster split. He only has one Spirit left. That Fire Spirit is one hit away from dying if it is the Tiny. They're going to try again. The Spirit Bear does get it tangled off. Now the Fear as well just controlling up this Tiny. Still the Matumba Man lives, and he'll find the Spirit Bear as well. And with that, Moo will not have another one to use. Do they continue this team fight? I don't believe it's a very smart idea, and it looks like they are going to back off.
Yeah, that just allows Secret to clean up these racks, and there's really nothing J.Storm can do to contest that. They might lose even more. Secret moving up top to secure that.
Yeah, why the hell not? How do you stop this this Tony, man? Zion back wall, he finds 3 of them into the avalanche of Matumba, and they just melt. The Yules will save the Lina for the moment, but there's a toss from mid one, and that will be another death coming up from J.Storm. as they are going to lose their secondary racks. And this game's over. 3 down with no buyback. That's the secondary racks gone. They have the option for Megas. They're not even going to bother. They go for the tier 4s instead. J.Storm, they're going to try and hold out, it looks like, but how do you do this with just a Brewmaster and a puck?
It's rough.
Your puck's not even there right now. In fact, they're just going to go for a fountain right mid one. What's your plan? Spike characters doesn't work on the fountain. Nevertheless, it is going to be a 2-0 victory for Seer.